Hey everybody, if you happen to check out my part 1 of the basic understanding of how solar works, this is going to be part 2 for you. If you haven't seen that one yet, head over there and try that one out first. For the rest of you, let's go this way. Okay, so now I'm going to try and demonstrate for you through a little bit of manipulation from my charge controller exactly how all those things that we just learned out in the backyard in relation to the water jug is working. Okay, with the exception of the wire size is not something that I can mimic or do there. So it's just something to think about. It might help you do a little bit of troubleshooting, maybe if you're adding panels but not getting the results that you want. It might be something else that you can look at for a troubleshooting perspective. So currently right now I've got my solar controller dialed down to only ask for 13.2 volts in my battery. So this is what it looks like. So it's asking for 13.2 volts, and you can see here my solar panel is just kind of blinking in and out, right? So it's going from 0 to 3.1, 3.4, and this is amperage. So this is actually voltage times amperage equals watts, right? And so this is my solar right now kicking in just like the sprinkling of the water. So my charge controller is dialed almost all the way back, and it's just trickling water into the battery reservoir. Now I've also got, remember the overflow portion of the video? Okay, so that is stuff that's being used, like my fan is running. Okay, so I got my fan running, maybe I've got some lights going, etc. Okay, so now I hear once in a while, you know what, my panels aren't working because you don't see any charge happening into your batteries, right? Everything's at 0, and I'm going to show you right now how that is not necessarily true, okay? It's only going to read 0 if your batteries aren't requiring any charge. So our charge controller, which is our valve, right? There's our valve right there. So it's asking for 13.6 volts, and we're getting real close to there. And over here, you can see that the solar panel is kind of kicking on and off a little bit here. And I've got the use of my fan going. There's no heavy users and that stuff. So we're going to manipulate this a little bit and see if we can't get those numbers up. Okay, we're going to test to make sure that our solar panels are actually cranking out. So what I'm going to do here is number one, I can just turn my fridge on and run it on DC power. Now the fridge is an absolute hog when it comes to electricity. It really uses a lot, so it's going to cause a big draw, and that alone is, I won't even have to do any manipulation here. So right now our voltage is dropped to about 11.5 as it's sitting, and you can see now my solar panels are kicking into about 15 amps. So the 15 times 12 is somewhere around 180 watts of power. So it's almost 50% of what my panels are rated at 400 watts. They're operating at 50% right now. Okay, so that's one way to test to make sure that your panels are actually doing something when it looks like they're actually dead or whatever, right? So remember, if your batteries are not depleted or using power, the solar controller is not going to allow that water to trickle into the battery. Okay, it needs to have somewhere to go, and if you're not pulling anything out, then it's not going to put anything in. Once it's full, and that's all that it knows. Okay, so it's around that 15 mark. We're going to shut our fridge off just to demonstrate how quickly that switches over, and you can go right back to that reading there, this one here in the corner, and as soon as my voltage is corrected a little bit here, you'll see that number coming down. See, now it's at 7, and it'll go right back down to 0 and blip in and out again just like it was before. Okay, so when the battery's full, the battery's full. The charge controller, or that valve per se, is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So in my experience with the charge controllers, the solar and all that stuff, the solar itself has been quite reliable over the years, and the panels, they should be good for at least a dozen years, right? They say 20 years or whatever, but you know, I would say that that's fairly accurate. If you're having issues with your capacities, I would more strongly look at your batteries as being the culprit. I have another video about checking your batteries, how to do a load test on them, etc. You know, you could go over there and check that out, and that might be helpful for you to determine whether it's time to change your batteries, or bring your batteries into a shop and get them to load test them, and that's going to tell you if they're borderline or if they're just completely depleted, and that could be your problem, right? There's too many rocks being held in the container, and what's left over is all the capacity that your batteries have, so that makes them just not working nearly as effective as you need them to be. So some people ask as well, you know, what should we charge our batteries at all the time? And you really got to look at your battery information for that. My particular batteries, the float charge is 13.8 is what they like it to be at. Some of it will be demonstrated by your converter, actually, when you plug your unit in. What does it charge the battery to? When I plug in my RV into the charger, if I were to shut my panels completely off, the charger would go up to 14.4 volts, and then after an amount of time it would come down to 13.8, and after it's been at that level for so long, it goes down to 13.2, and that's where it will kind of float charge around. But you have to kind of look at your own batteries and make sure that those parameters are all good, and you can make adjustments if needed. So when I'm actually just using my solar panels full time, I'll put it at 13.6 and consider that the float charge. At nighttime, it'll come down a bit from there, but during the day, even with overcast, it'll charge itself back up to that level, and that's a good safe level for the batteries to be when I'm not using them. When I'm heading out to use them, I'll crank that thing up to 14.4 and let it sit there, because I know that once I get parked, I might be in a shady area. We do lots of camping in the shade here in Canada. It's just the way that the campgrounds are set up, and it's quite foresty here. And I just want that bank to be as full as possible when I get out there. So I'll have it parked on 14.4 the entire time that I'm camping. So anyways, if you like this content, that's awesome. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, as it's very new and just getting going. I have another channel as well called the Rugged Retirees Adventures, and I'd really appreciate it if you join me there. I release a video every week with a different adventure, doing a lot of different things, and hey, I'd love to have you along for the ride. Okay, until the next one, we'll see you later.